Tech Troubles, the podcast where we laugh at the chaos that is modern technology. I'm your host, Alex, and today, we're diving into the wild, wonderful world of Zoom meetings. Oh, yes, the place where we all pretend we're professionals, our Wi-Fi's cutting in and out, and our pets have the worst timing possible. Honestly, if you've been on a Zoom meeting, you've probably experienced a failure or two. Or, let's be honest, maybe more like a dozen. Now, let me set the stage. The first time I used Zoom, I was all excited. I thought, hey, I've got this. I'm a tech-savvy person. This is gonna be smooth sailing. You know that moment when you feel super confident about something, only to realize 5 minutes in that you have no idea what you're doing? Yeah, that was me. I opened the app, turned on my camera, and suddenly, I looked like I was auditioning for a horror movie. The lighting was terrible, I looked like I hadn't slept in 3 days, and I could hear people talking, but none of them could hear me. I'm sitting there, frantically clicking buttons, hoping to fix it before anyone noticed. The whole time, I felt like I was in an episode of Black Mirror. Then, of course, there's the dreaded mute button fail. How many times have you been on a Zoom meeting and the moment you unmute yourself, someone says, "Hey Alex, we can't hear you," and you immediately panic like, "What do you mean? I've been talking this whole time." But no, the mute button, my old nemesis, was on. Every single time. I'm starting to think the mute button is secretly out to get me. It's like an evil mastermind plotting my downfall every time I get on a call. I'd be explaining something important and then hear, "Sorry, Alex, you're on mute," and in my head, I'm screaming, "I know I'm on mute." But that's nothing compared to the horror of turning your camera on and realizing, too late, that you are the only person on the call who's not dressed for the occasion. I remember this one meeting where I forgot to turn my camera off while I was setting up my laptop, and there I was, caught on camera in my pajamas, hair unbrushed, looking like I just rolled out of bed, hoping no one would notice. But of course, they did. Everyone's faces lit up like they had just witnessed an impromptu circus act. "Nice pajamas, Alex," someone said. And the rest of the meeting was just me slowly sinking into my chair, wishing for the sweet release of a Wi-Fi disconnection. Speaking of disconnections, let's talk about the Wi-Fi fail. You know that feeling when you're in the middle of explaining something important, and then, bam, your connection drops. All you see is a frozen image of your face, and you have no idea if you're smiling, making a weird face, or if your whole body is stuck in a bizarre position. I've had multiple meetings where I've just become a pixelated blur. The other people on the call probably think I'm a ghost, floating around with a broken connection. There's always that awkward silence after you freeze, where everyone is waiting for you to reappear, and all you can do is pray your Wi-Fi decides to cooperate. And let's not forget the background fail. Some people are brave enough to use those fancy virtual backgrounds to mask their cluttered homes, and others, well, they accidentally forget the filter is on. There was this one time, I was in a meeting, and I had a virtual background of a nice beach scene, you know, looking all professional and put together. Suddenly, my cat jumps onto the desk, knocking my coffee cup, and the beach background gets replaced with a very loud, very real image of my living room, where the mess is clearly visible. I mean, I'm just sitting there, trying to smile and act like nothing happened, but inside, I'm screaming, why did I think this was a good idea? Oh, and the accidental screen share fail. You know when you're asked to share your screen, and everything seems fine, until you realize that you just accidentally exposed your entire desktop. All those tabs you've had open for weeks, because we all know we never close those tabs, right, suddenly become public knowledge. Imagine presenting to your team, and then they see that you've got your grocery list, a couple of random memes you've saved, and, yes, that one embarrassing tab open for, well, let's just say it wasn't work-related. At that point, You just try to pretend like you didn't just accidentally show the world that you have no control over your browser tabs. Oh, that? No, that was just, research, I said, hoping they didn't notice the cat memes folder. Then there's the accidental unmute during someone else's speech fail. This one's a classic. You know when you're in a meeting, and you're feeling like the meeting's winding down, so you start doing something else, like maybe scrolling through your phone. Then, boom, your unmute button gets hit, and your snarky comment or random thought gets broadcasted to the entire room. I've been in meetings where I've just gone on autopilot, talking to myself, and next thing I know, I hear, Alex, you're unmuted. Oh, the shame. The pure, unfiltered shame. And let's not even get started on the too many people talking at once fail. That beautiful moment when everyone talks over each other and you end up sounding like a confused auctioneer. You go ahead, no, I'll go, wait, you go, no you, and then, suddenly, everything gets silent and everyone's waiting for someone else to speak, but no one's sure who should go next. That's when you just stare at the screen and hope someone takes charge. Sometimes, I think Zoom meetings are more like social experiments where everyone pretends to know what they're doing, and none of us really do. At the end of the day, Zoom meetings are a mess. They're chaos. But they're our chaos. And we love them because they give us a chance to laugh at ourselves and bond over the shared experience of trying to make technology work in ways it was never meant to. So, if you've ever had a Zoom fail, don't worry, you're not alone. We've all been there, and honestly, it's what makes Zoom meetings so memorable. So, next time you're on a Zoom call, and your dog starts barking, or your background turns into a glitchy disaster, just remember, you're not the only one. We've all been there, we've all had those moments, and we've all learned to laugh at ourselves. That's what makes Zoom meetings so great, right? Thanks for tuning in to Tech Troubles. I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully with better Wi-Fi, a more professional background, and the courage to actually unmute myself when it's my turn to speak.